Scott, what is the way that God has made you such a unifying person?
How has God taught me to be a unifying person? I have taken a lot of help and direction from the first verses in Ephesians chapter 4, where Paul talks about walking in a manner worthy of the calling to which we've been called, with all humility and gentleness, bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. And studying that passage some years ago, I realized that there is more than one way to be a destroyer in the church. The obvious way is to actively sow division, to slander and breed controversy by the way that we talk and act. But Paul talks there, be eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Other translations, or the force of that word, is do all that you can, be zealous, do what is within your power. And so I realized that there's another way to be a destroyer in God's church, which is to simply not be eager to maintain unity, by backing away, by not having harder conversations that need to happen, by sitting on the sidelines when you should be getting in as a peacemaker. And I want so much to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which He's called me in that way, by being eager to maintain unity. And of course, what Jesus says about peacemakers in Matthew 5 is so inspiring as well. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. This is what our own God is like. He is a unifying God, a God who makes peace even at the cost of His own Son's blood. And so we have a Lord that we follow who leads the way in bringing unity.
Scott, also, how have you been taught humility from the Lord?
How has God taught me humility? I would very much say that I am in need of continual teaching about humility. Not so much new information about humility, though there's always things to learn, but the Spirit's applying to my heart the things that I know that should be deeply humbling and that aren't always because of my own indwelling sin. I think the Scriptures come at humility in so many different ways, but one of the pieces that strikes me most is the humility of Jesus Himself. In the Gospels, it is so striking to see the ways that Jesus humbles Himself. You know, Philippians 2 talks about Him humbling Himself by taking on, or by being in human form, then humbling Himself to the point of death. But I think that humbling, you see it over and over again, not just in the fact that He took up His cross and went to Golgotha, but all along the way, in the ways that He speaks, the ways that He acts, Him welcoming children to Himself, Him not calling attention to His own name and not glorifying Himself, to the kinds of people that He hung around, He associated with the lowly, to the ways that He just so patiently dealt with His disciples' own pride and taught them and corrected them. So the humility of Jesus is, I think, what makes me most want to be humble. And when I have felt the force of His own humility, marveled at His own humility, I think it has led to its own effect in me. Though again, all sorts of room to grow in this. I want to have more of the mind of Christ in me and be humble like He displayed humility in His earthly life.